Hello, welcome back to another video. This video is going to be looking at things that I've learnt and understandings I've made from thousands of hours of playing and playing at the top level in Australia. It's things that hopefully will improve your individual gameplay and your team's overall threshold, help you break through a plateau or just enjoy the game a bit more. Yeah, hope you enjoy. Alright, so our first example is looking at the basic concept of understanding what the other team wants you to do and not doing it. Alright? These are mistakes you see at all levels of the game, beginners all the way to pros. People make these mistakes. It's understanding at like a general level, a basic level, what does the other team want me to do? If you think, put yourself in their shoes, you're on pistols, just say you're on Tech 9s, you want the other team to play aggressive, right? Because then you have a chance of like a brawl. You have like 3 people here, you're going for a fast play, and then you see a CT there with a rifle. You're going to take this fight every day of the week. It's like one hit with the Tech 9 from like here, and then also like, just say even if you're a Glock, you dink them. It's like round on, just run this person down. CTs need to understand against pistols, it's not good to take close range fights, right? Especially when you have rifles. If you have MP9s, different story. You want to take like these fights against Tech 9s, or peek in mid against Tech 9s, or even like peek in long against Tech 9s, You don't want to be taking these awkward lines like this, or like this, or pushing upper, because you're fighting them at sort of an even level, right? A pistol wants you to be close, and they want to take fights mid to close range, unless they have a dig. But majority of the time, pistols like Glocks, Tech 9s, P50s on eco rounds, they want you to be close because they want to swarm you. And when you give that swarm up and you lose a gun, especially in AWP, it's like round on for the Ts. And the same sort of concept applies the other way around. As CTs, when you're versing CTs and they're on pistols, you don't want to be going super aggro and just like running into spots like uppers against CTs because they can push upper, they can push lower, and they can have these close range fights against you as a T. So it's just a basic understanding of like knowing what is strong and what isn't against specific buys and just specific rounds in general. If we look at clutches and just say it's 3 versus 1, you're the Ts. You have 1 person door, 1 person window, 1 person car. And the CT is retake him. What they don't want is for you to double peek them or do some sort of coordinated play, because then you have a good fight. You have 2 on 1. Even then, it's a bit risky to double peek a CT because they can just be holding like a line where they're protected from window and just hold door and kill you. So typically, in 3v1s, shout to Dazed, you want to like play more just info, understand where they are, and then just set up a choke hold. One person just plays here, they peek off the contact from door. One person plays under window, and you have someone just like peeking off contact from Hayden. So take contact window, this person swings. Takes contact door, they swing. Set up an impossible crossfire they can't win. What you don't want to do is just give that person 1v1s, because that one person, that's the only way they get back into the round. So that's like an understanding in like a round layout. So like pistol rounds, like half-eye rounds, you don't want to go into their hand. And same with clutches. You don't want to give opportunities and a chance of success. You don't want to... That's the way people win 1v3s. It's by the other team making mistakes, right? Or if they just have a crazy round. But majority of the time, it's other teams making mistakes and just feeding that person overconfidence. So it's just understanding when you have an advantage and how to actually capitalize on that advantage. You don't need to get like a crazy 4K in eco round to win it. You've already got the massive advantage. You've already got insane utility over the other team, and you have better guns. It's utilize that. Don't be greedy with your util. Use it to flush out like little ratty positions, like lowers. Use a molly to clear this out if it's like late round, or even just like flash it. You don't want to just be like holding onto a full belt of util against pistols and peeking these sort of lines, or going into short against pistols and not flashing this off or not mollying this off. Just basic understanding. It's like you don't have to do those things. They're a bit weird, like mollying lowers and mollying short. But it's just an understanding. It's like, don't be greedy with your util. Use your advantage and win the round. You don't need it to be close. You don't need to win off a crazy 3K. Just understand when you have an advantage and how to play around that. If the other team has double AWPs, against you. Double AWPs, peeking top mid dry is just stupid. Peeking long dry is just stupid, right? Peeking upper B dry is stupid because you're versing double AWP. They're going to be posted up in these lines. They're the most common lines in the game. Instead, take control using utility and execute the site. You know, block off those lines, block off this line with flashes or smokes, you know? You don't want people to be able to hold common lines and kill you. So executes are really strong against AWPs because you block off the vision, you're actually countering the most common positions, and you're utiling them out, and you're making the other team have to retake with double AWP. That's a strong round for you. But you can't just contact into them and swing dry into double AWP, right? Because you're just doing what they want. So actually have some depth to what you're doing, have reason, and think about it from their perspective. What do they want you to do? And don't do it. That's the way it is. Like, just think about it, take a pause if you need to, and just think, what does the other team want me to do? What should I do in return? Hopefully that's helpful. All right, my next tip is just about path in general. So many times I see people just like multi, just from mouse 1, not even moving their crosshair. There's nothing flashy, they're just mouse 1 and they gain like 3 or 4. And it's the same in short. The other team's coming up. Just say here, and there's multi. Or even like this line. People just peeking close together. You need to make it so the other person has to flick their crosshair to shoot you. This person shouldn't be able to get 3 kills, 4 kills in that line. They should have to swap around, you know, have to try and peek other people and move their crosshair. How to counter this is to have good power spacing and pathing. So, one person's in front of you, yeah, you can go behind them, that's fine as second person, but the third person can't be right behind that person, because otherwise you're just in a straight line, you're going to get multied off not moving. So, first 2 go in a straight line, third person goes the opposite way. First 2 paths towards big box, third person paths towards car. Or depending on how many people you have. Same with short. You can have 1 person or 2 people peek close, or 1 person peek close, 1 person peek at the back. You shouldn't be on the same line as someone if it's just you 2, or if you have like the entry pack, it should never be more than 3 people on the same line, because you're just going to get mouse 1 multied, and that's the most depressing way to lose the round. And you might wonder, how do we always get multied? Like, how do we always just die before you even get into the site? A lot of the time, it's just bad spacing, bad pathing, and people don't understand that they're not actively making the other person move their crosshair or have to do anything difficult. Same concept with going through smokes. Too many times I see teams just come out one side, and it's just insane. It's like, you need to be 1 person, it's like splitting the smoke. 1 person go in the middle, 1 person go left, 1 person go right. That way, instead of 2 people coming out this one line and you just kill them, you have 1 person come out right, 1 person come out to left, and 1 person in the middle. It's like super hard to multi that, right? Because now you have to shoot at 3 different spots. That's a concept that everyone needs to understand. People need to actively work on improving, because you should never die to someone just mouse 1 spraying you and never, like, not even needing to move their crosshair, right? You're just making the game too easy for them. So that's all I'll talk about with pathing. Please implement it for your own sanity. And yeah, if you can do this in pugs, it doesn't even need to be preemptively discussed. You can do it in pugs. If you see 2 people going in a straight line trading each other, that's good. You go the opposite way, or you go a bit more to the left. Just don't line up with them, because if you line up with them, it's just going to be sad. All right. The next tip is just understanding when you're using util and why. A lot of teams that I watched and that I've coached, they'll just burn util. It's good they're using it, and it's good like they're blocking an area, and they actually have good understanding of what util to throw in specific defaults. That's good. It's a lot better than just not knowing and just like throwing shit util. They're throwing really good util, and they're actually blocking certain maps, parts of the maps really well, and they're understanding what it's used for. But just as important as knowing what to use is when to use it. You shouldn't have all your util burnt in the first 40 seconds of the round, right? Because there's like a minute 55 in the round. The other team will just late round hit you, and you just lose because you have nothing to block it. The game feels impossible when you're holding a site with no util and you gain full executed on with flashes, mollies, everything, the whole shebang and smokes, and you just feel so shut out and you feel like you don't even have a chance in the round. You need to understand when to use util and like what team you're versing. If a team is going super aggressive, they're just holding W at you and they're just running, running you down and getting entries in the first 30, 40 seconds, that is when you burn util early, okay? You don't need to hold util because the other team is just like, they're staunching you. You need to be using flashes long, you need to be using mollies at blue, you need to be using mollies in bedroom. You need to be actively denying map control in that area and not being greedy with your util because the other team is going super aggressive and they're not playing to the mid-late round. You need to use your util early to counter them going aggressive early, right? And it works the other way. If a team just isn't peeking and they're just not swinging anything and they're just like, they're giving up a bunch of map control early, as a CT, take the control and then just hold util and jiggle. You don't need to block this. You don't need to play here and then just block this on timing just because of your guess. You can hold this control and make them take it off you and then use it. You don't ever want to be just using all your util for no reason. You should do like a util audit as a team or even individually. Watch back your game or your pug or anything and just look at when you're using util and think, is it necessary? Did you actually achieve something with this? And what was the thought process behind using it? And that will improve just your overall understanding of the game and help you hopefully use util better in the future. Everyone can, at any level, can improve from this tip and can use it. So just be mindful what team you're versing, why you used that util in the time you did. Was it the best piece of util you could have used? Like, did you need to use it? Or could you have saved it for later round if the team was just say the other team's just executing on you and they're not swinging dry, they're just, doing full sets of smokes, Would it have been better to have a molly to just block that late because they're not even walking out on you anyway? Just understand who you're versing and how to use util against it. All right, and those are some of the general tips that I have from playing at the top level in Australia and playing for 11,000 hours. Hopefully they're helpful and hopefully you can win more games with them. I think if you apply them, you will win more games, you'll improve your overall understanding, and the game will just be more enjoyable. Hope you guys have a good night. Thanks for watching.